Hi friends, so welcome to the Python programming series again, and where we have left, we already have covered the command variables, data types. In this lecture, we'll cover the numbers, Python numbers. So there are okay. So let me write the heading Python numbers. We are gonna learn. Um, Need to make it as heading, and okay, whatever heading it is doesn't matter. So in Python numbers, we have three numeric type in Pythons, that is int, float, and complex number. We have three type of numbers. That is what we can say. We have int, we have float, and we have complex number. So variables of numeric type, if you want to create, then you can create when you assign a value to them. For example, if you want to if write as a is having a value of let's say 9, and this is a what we say, this is integer type, and b is equal to let's say 2.5, whatever number you want, and this is a float type, and z is have the value of 1j, 1 1 j, you can say. So this is a complex type. So this is in Python, we have a three numeric type to use. And if so to if you want to check the type, so then what you can do, you can do um, you can print all these things. Print A, B, and C. So once you are printing this ABC is the same, but if you print the type of it, print the type of this variable, type of A, and type of B, and type of C, and type of C, then you'll get the type as integer. First type is integer, second type is float, and third type is complex number. So these are about type, and there is also something about very numbers, like integer or int is a whole number, and a positive or negative without decimal of unlimited length. Uh, so what does it mean? You can write anything in this integer. That this integer can take any value. This integer type can take. Let's see. Okay, so this is the integer type. This is the float type, and this is something else. So if I can so the thing is, integer or int type is a whole number, and it can be positive, it can be negative. So but it should be written in form of without using the decimal thing of unlimited length, you can define. So I'm defining unlimited length, and I can also define it as negative values, like something like this. And if I'll print, then this all is a valid integer values. So the next thing is same about the float. If I'll want to check, like if I have a number in float, so float or floating point, this is also called floating point number. As a number, it can also be a positive, or it can be also be a negative, and it containing one or more decimal. And All right. So let's say like I am writing it as 4.5. That is cool, fine. If I am writing it as just 1.10, I think this will also work. And if I am making it as a negative, the thing, it should also work. Right. So this is the same as this thing, but you should have a decimal point, and you can use anything here. So this will give the range is at float, and float. All three are float type of variables. The next thing is yes. So the next thing is what else in remaining? Complex number, right? So I have talked about the integer, I have talked about the float, and next thing is complex. But before complex number, there is one more thing. If you want to define d is equal to let's say E, capital E you are writing here, and 4, then that my and this will also be the, then I if I print the value of type of d, then it should also give the float values. So you can also define it as this. You can also define it as for example 8 7 8 7. You can also use the small e, and fine. You can also, instead of this, you can also use like you, this is your negative number, you can use after this. um, for example, uh, you can use e here. So this should also work. See, this e is written, that this is also work, and it is saying that these all are float type of variable. So now come to complex number. Complex number are written with a imaginary j as imaginary part. So there should be a small j written after any number. For example, in the ways of defining the variable of complex number. So complex number is like for example, it is 1j. It is also valid. And if we call say minus, this will also work. Minus 5j, this will also work. And we talk about the other notation. So if I write 3 plus 5j, so this will also work. So these all will work. So let me print the type of this. Okay, so I'm printing the type of this xyz, x y z. Okay, so if I'll print this value, this will say that the class of this all numbers is of complex type. But the next thing what you can do with these numbers, you can change the one form of in one type to another type. So you can convert from one type to another type with uh, using the int, float, and complex before the number. For example, for example, um, okay, so let's say this. For example, let's say I have x this, y this, and that is something. Okay, so if x is this, so I want to convert this x into float. So what I will do, I will I will write it as let's say a is equal to float. I want to make one as float, so I want to make x as float, and then I will print a. Then a will also give then okay, so xyz is integer, but I'm making it as float, so I have to change it as a. Then you will see that this variable type is now float variable type. And the same thing, I if I want to change b is equal to what b is also integer, and we want to change it into complex number. So we can change it into complex number while writing the complex of minus 5. Can you make this minus 5 as complex number? Let's check. B, then right. So anything you can do. You have changed this type integer to complex. And the same way, if you are want to change this, let's say it is zero point 0.5, it is already in float, but you want to change it in integer. So uh, integer of z, and you want to print it as a c. So the thing is it will give integer, so it have changed into the integer type. So it's about the type conversion. And python, and what else? So about numbers. So python does not have random number, random function in random function it doesn't have to make the random number. Yes, python does not have a random function to make the random number, but python has a invent module called random that can be used to make the random number. So sorry. So what you have to do, you have to just import random in python, and you want to print that random dot. You already have imported that random. Then you need to use random dot uh, it random contain a lot of functions. So let us check this range. You need range bit of random number, and you need to give the range from 1 to, let's say, 20, in this range of random number you want. Then if you run this command, then you'll get any random number between this range. Next time you'll run, you'll get 3. Next time you run the same command, you'll get 9. So any random number it will have. And so this is about the random number. And in next lecture, what we can learn about the casting. And for this lecture is we are closing this up in python number only. So let me stop this recording for this lecture.